My life before Harmless seemed kind of hopeless, I suppose you could say. Very depressed and anxious, couldn't really leave the house by myself. And I just felt like I'd kind of given up a bit.
Before I came to Harmless, I didn't really have any hope for the future. I just thought that my life had finished, really. You know, I'd had children, I had postnatal depression, and I had and everything that I knew just disappeared, and I don't know, felt helpless and hopeless, and I didn't know where to turn.
Life was horrible. I struggled to get through every day, really. It wasn't the best.
Life for me before I came to Harmless was really downhill. I was so depressed, I was suicidal, I was self-harming, I didn't think much to myself, I cried all the time, couldn't sleep, wouldn't eat. I was just in a really, really bad place.
Before I came to Harmless, I was just, I don't know, I wasn't really doing much. I couldn't get out of bed, I was just depressed all the time. I was in and out of A&E for self-harming, it was just getting worse and worse. I'd been passed around from, I think, 12 different services because no one could help me. And I feel like I was just at the end of the road. I didn't know where else to go.
Very low. I felt like I couldn't get out of bed. I was self-harming frequently, suicidal. I just couldn't do much that I used to be able to do. And I just didn't really want to be here anymore.
Daily I didn't get out of bed myself. You know, I'd take her to nursery and then I'd go home and I'd get into bed. When she started full-time school, my days would just be get my children ready. My husband would take them to school and I used to stay in bed till 3 o'clock till they came home. The only way that I knew to help myself was to hurt myself, really.
Waking up in the morning, I didn't want to get up. I hated myself for waking up. I didn't want to wake up when I went to sleep. I was quite suicidal. It was a task to not hurt myself.
Before, I just didn't like myself, I hated myself, I just disliked myself.
I don't know if I really felt anything before I came to Harmless. It was just empty, like there was nothing in me, nothing worth living for, and I wasn't worth living for, and I was just kind of going through the motions of being alive, but I didn't really want to be. And I don't know, sometimes it felt horrific, like I couldn't bear to be here, and sometimes I just felt like there was nothing there, like I was just me on my own and there was no point of it anymore.
Harmless offered me counselling once a week, more if I need it, which is more than I'd ever been offered before, which was amazing considering it's like charity based. And I see Val once a week, and I just get everything out that I've been feeling bad about, and I have such a good relationship with her. I can tell her about everything, and I have a lot of trust with her as well, and I just feel so much better, so much more positive about life.
I was offered sessions with Colin, so I came each week and worked with him mainly, although I've worked with Val as well, just mainly with Colin. And we've been doing, I don't know, he was the first person that actually took an interest in me, you know. It wasn't about my medication or, you know, what I'd done that week. He was interested in me. And at the time, he'd just had a baby daughter, and I was telling him that I wasn't sleeping. And I don't know how he found out, because for the first few sessions I didn't speak to him at all. I just used to come and look at him, and he used to try so hard to get me to talk, and I just didn't know what to say. And then we had a write-off. He found out that I liked writing, and so he wrote a poem about his night, and I wrote a poem about my night, and then we compared, and then I just used to come and used to give me fun and exciting things to write about, you know, really things that, you know, like being stuck in a lift with two people that you didn't know, or one time we walked to the park and it was a really hot day and all the benches were taken, so we ended up sitting on a bench that was wonky, and I wrote, you know, he asked me to write about that. It was just such fun, you know, completely different to anything that I've experienced before.
The support I had from Harmless was dealing with my suicidal thoughts, different ways to cope and to deal with them, and self-harm as well. It was, well, it was again coping with it and knocking the thoughts out your head.
Every time I come here, there's a chart, and the charts help me quite a lot. I fill in a chart, and then I get speaking to Val, tell her how I'm feeling, how I've been since the last time I actually came to see her, and then after we have the conversation, from where I am when I walk in from down here, when I leave the room, I'm up here, and when I have to fill the chart in again when I leave, and it's just progression. It's just really helpful.
Since I've been to Harmless, I've seen Katie regularly, one of the support workers, and I've also been able to access a counselling service in town called the Human Flourishing Project, and I don't know, it's a bit hard to say things that have changed because everything's changed. I'm not completely better now, and I still have days where things are awful, but it's not just nothing anymore. It feels like things are awful, but instead of thinking, oh, today was awful and tomorrow's going to be awful, it's like, well, today was awful, so I'm going to try and make tomorrow a bit better. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I know that I've always got the support of people at Harmless when it doesn't.
I remember I rang up while my daughter was still in hospital, and within 24 hours I got a call back offering support for her when she was ready for it, and also already I've had 4 or 5 offers of support myself and for my wife and my son as well. So it's not like an individual support, the support's there for all of us.
The reason why I ended up coming here was because my partner committed suicide, and I got a phone call off Harmless within a few days of it happening, asking me to come in and for me to be assessed. I feel I can say whatever I want to and not be judged, and not feel like I shouldn't be feeling like that or shouldn't say that, or, you know, I get a lot of family members and they're only trying their best and whatever, but they're saying, you know, you shouldn't feel like that. Why should you blame yourself, or why should, you know, you feel the way you feel? You haven't done anything wrong. And it's like, you know, I do, you know, to some extent blame myself and stuff, but when I come here you don't get judged. You feel like you can speak freely.
Harmless has really changed my life. I don't know where I'd be without this place. I don't know what my life would look like, and it really has just changed everything for me.
Dread to think, really. I don't know. I don't think I'd be alive, really.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't receive the support that I have now. I don't think I'd be here at all.
To be honest, probably be dead. I was really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. Never been like this in my whole life. Yeah, I had really bad suicide thoughts.
If I hadn't have come to Harmless, the easy answer is that I'd be dead. The harder answer is that I'd still be living like I was living before. And I don't know which one's worse. So I'm just glad it's not like that anymore.
I think Harmless is special because I've had counselling and stuff and therapy in the past, and I've never felt so cared about and listened to. I've never had my small victories celebrated as much as I have here, like tiny little things like going to the shop by myself, and it makes me feel so happy that I finally feel like that's a good enough thing to do for like one day, because I never thought it was before. I always thought that was really rubbish to achieve, like it was nothing compared to other people. Yeah, just being listened to, and just the fact that you're just here whenever I need, like, and it is charity based, and it doesn't run out, there's no like time limit for it.
I don't think there's anything that you can't ask for when you come here. You know, people get to know you, and you can ask for almost anything, and if they can't help you, then they signpost you to where you can get help. And then another thing that I haven't mentioned was that I'd got appointments that I was referred to, and Colin would come along with me to those and, you know, just sit with me before I went in, and his support's been invaluable, and I don't think you'd get that anywhere else at all.
So there's just somebody to talk to. I mean, the different things I've been through, it was hard to speak to family members and friends and stuff, because it also affected them. So having somebody to load off to, and you know, just if I feel crap, to say, oh, you know, this has happened, I'm feeling a bit low, what can I do? And that helped me a lot, just having somebody to talk to.
They are so helpful. I mean, there must be children coming here, and I mean youngsters and older people and people like me, who are going through really difficult times. And for them just to hear and to listen to you, that's all you need, is someone who will be at your level, not someone who's up there and we down here. They're at your level and they will listen to you.
When I first meet people, I'm shy and scared, and I just sit and cry and don't say anything. And every other service that I've been to just labels you as difficult, because they think that you're not trying, or it's going to be too hard for you to do that. But at Harmless, actually take the time to let you have those days where you just sit and cry and don't say anything, and that's all right. And yeah, I don't think I'd ever trust anyone in the mental health service before I came to Harmless.
I can't really put it into words. It's quite difficult to talk about without getting a bit emotional, to be honest, but it's just amazing. We're all in it together, and we just feel like we've got a group of friends around us now that are there to support us as well. And we can talk about whatever we talk about. And again, it's that feeling of not being judged. No one's trying to categorise us or saying we've done things wrong or haven't got things right. They're just there to support. And there's a genuine feeling of care and love that we feel. And yeah, I can't really put that into words. It's priceless, to be honest.
I like the idea, which happens on every session that we have, is the kids get to play and be kids, and I still get to talk. I go into a separate room while they're playing, because obviously some of the things I say ain't for them to hear, because they feel comfortable being here. I mean, they don't know why we come, to be fair, but they feel that comfortable that they can be open and they can play and talk and be happy while they're here. Every time I come, I always come with an issue or a problem, and I always leave feeling better. And I mean, I come in a day or two after I almost hit rock bottom. Very, very close to hitting rock bottom. And after having a session, I felt a lot better walking out.
I'd just like to say thank you. I really feel like my life has changed from coming here, in small ways, but in big ways as well. And like I said before, I don't know where I would be without Harmless. And they've also supported my family a lot as well. It's just been incredible, and just thank you.
To the Harmless team, to Colin and Val and everybody else here, thank you very much. You've been amazing, and I hope to keep coming.
Just thank you for being my support when I really needed it.
I'm so grateful that Harmless have been here for me. The whole team are absolutely amazing. And a special thank you to Val. She's my rock, and she's been there for me. Thank you so much.
I don't really know if you can say it in words, but either thank you for saving my life or thank you for making my life not as awful as it was to live in.
But all I can just say is I'm in awe of all of you and the work that you do, and just a massive, massive thank you, both professionally and personally. Thank you.
For me, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's contributed to Harmless's work over the last 10 years, because people often look to me as the leader of that service, but I can't do any of what I do without my team. And to all of the clients that are brave enough to speak up and speak out, each person that does that, each person that tells their story reaches somebody new. And massive thank you to everybody who's enabled me to achieve my dream of helping people, because I'm really lucky. People think that what we do is difficult, and it is, but it's really privileged too. So thank you.